Sefer Devarim, Parashat Ki Teitzei, 7th Aliyah. You shall not cheat a poor or destitute hired person among your brethren, or a proselyte who is in your land, or one who is in your cities. On that day shall you pay his hire. The sun shall not set upon him, for he is poor, and his life depends on it. Let him not call out against you to Hashem, for it shall be a sin in you. Fathers shall not be put to death because of sons, and sons shall not be put to death because of fathers. A man should be put to death for his own sin. You shall not pervert the judgment of a proselyte or orphan, and you shall not take the garment of a widow as a pledge. You shall remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and Hashem your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I command you to do this thing. When you reap your harvest in your field, and you forget a bundle in the field, you shall not turn back to take it. It shall be for the proselyte, the orphan, and the widow, so that Hashem your God will bless you in all your handiwork. When you beat your olive tree, do not remove all the splendor behind you. It shall be for the proselyte, the orphan, and the widow. When you harvest your vineyard, you shall not glean behind you. It shall be for the proselyte, the orphan, and the widow. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command you to do this thing. When there will be a grievance between people, and they approach the court, and they judge them, and they vindicate the righteous one, and find the wicked one guilty, it will be that if the wicked one is liable to lashes, the judge shall cast him down and strike him before him, according to his wickedness by a count. 40 shall strike him, and 40 shall strike him, he shall not add, lest he strike him an additional blow beyond these, and your brother will be degraded before your eyes. You shall not muzzle an ox in its threshing. When brothers dwell together, and one of them dies, and he has no child, the wife of the deceased shall not marry outside to a strange man. Her brother-in-law shall come to her and take her to himself as a wife and perform levirate marriage. It shall be that the firstborn, if she can bear, shall succeed to the name of his dead brother, so that his name not be blotted out from Israel. But if the man will not wish to marry his sister-in-law, then his sister-in-law shall ascend to the gate to the elders, and she shall say, My brother-in-law has refused to establish a name for his brother in Israel. He did not consent to perform levirate marriage with me. Then the elders of his city shall summon him and speak to him, and he shall stand and say, I do not wish to marry her. Then his sister-in-law shall approach him before the eyes of the elders. She shall remove his shoe from on his foot and spit before him. She shall speak up and say, So is done to the man who will not build the house of his brother. Then his name shall be proclaimed in Israel, the house of the one whose shoe was removed. If men fight with one another, a man and his brother, and the wife of one of them approaches to rescue her husband from the hand of the one who is striking him, and she stretches out her hand and grabs his embarrassing place, you shall cut off her hand, your eye shall not show pity. You shall not have in your pouch a weight and a weight, a large one and a small one. You shall not have in your house a measure and a measure, a large one and a small one. A perfect and honest weight shall you have, a perfect and honest measure shall you have, so that your days shall be lengthened on the land that Hashem your God gives you. For an abomination of Hashem your God are all who do this, all who act corruptly. Remember what Amalek did to you on the way when you were leaving Egypt, that he happened upon you on the way, and he struck those of you who were hindmost, all the weaklings at your rear, when you were faint and exhausted, and he did not fear God. It shall be that when Hashem your God gives you rest from all your enemies all around, in the land that Hashem your God gives you as an inheritance to possess it, you shall wipe out the memory of Amalek from under the heaven. You shall not forget.